Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And we're doing a special video for you guys because we just recently saw an upcoming film called Spoiler Alert.
I have this fantasy that even when I'm older, I will lie under the tree like this and we'll just take a moment to appreciate this beauty. Merry Christmas.
Spoiler alert. Rated PG-13. In select theaters December 2nd. Everywhere December 9th.
And we were kind of inspired to share our own love story. The movie stars Jim Parsons and Ben Aldridge. It's based on the true life events and book of the same name. And it is a beautiful, beautiful love story. And we felt inspired to share our own story with a couple of questions. So here is the first one. How did you meet?
I actually always like this question because I find it to be fun and original. We met sword fighting.
True story.
Because we both actually worked for a company that was a fencing studio, fight choreography, and we also did like birthday parties on the weekends. It's kind of an interesting place to meet the love of your life.
Aw, cute. It's unconventional, but it's fun, and it makes I guess a fun conversation starter when people are like, how'd you guys meet? Well,
We met fighting.
We met sword fighting. It's important to have the word sword in front of that. Next question. How long have you been together?
Well, we got married in 2014.
Test your knowledge to see if you remember.
2014. We started dating 5 years before that, so 2009, so that is 13 years.
Gross! So
Yay.
long!
I think it's cute and adorable that we've been together for so long.
Yeah, we've been together a long time. Like, Dustin was actually one of the first people I met and became friends with when I first came out to LA. And I didn't know anybody in LA, and him and the people we met through sword fighting were kind of like my first group of friends, and so we kind of had that solid friendship to base our relationship off, which I think is what kind of makes us and so good together.
Yeah.
Is that we have that foundation first.
And at first, yeah, because at the time that we met, we were both with significant others.
Yeah.
But then we broke up. We broke up with our significant others, started hanging out more and more, and we're like, what is starting to form here? There's kind of a romantic thing going on here. Not only is she a good friend of mine, but now she's quite practically perfect in every way.
Oh, stop it. Do you have any go-to or special spots that holds a special meaning in your relationship?
Well, speaking of practically perfect in every way, it kind of fits because one of the spots that is very near and dear to us is Disney. And that's also where I proposed.
Yeah.
And we even have like the little caricature that we got done of me down on one knee asking her. And at first she was like, wait, what's going on here?
I was really sick that day too. Like, I had a bad cold, and I said to him as we were getting dressed that morning, like to leave, and I was like, maybe we should just like not go. And he's like, no, we're going. I was like,
Because I had planned for months ahead of time. We were going to go there. We were going to go on Pirates of the Caribbean. And as we come up, hey, look, we've been talking about getting our caricature done. And I had it scheduled and planned. I'm like, no, we're going. And it was on our anniversary. So I proposed on our anniversary. We got married on our anniversary.
So we got one day to remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
made it very easy for me.
That day was just crazy because I was just like, because I didn't feel good, I kind of didn't want to do anything. So he was suggesting anything. I was like, sure, whatever. Anything you want. Like, I was just like along for the ride. And I was like, oh, we're actually the caricature thing is something we talked about every anniversary. We're like, let's go get it. And every single year the line's super long. So that year he was like, let's go get it. I was like, okay, but inside I was thinking, I'm sure there's going to be a line and we're not going to get it, like we don't get it every year. And as we walk up, the person recognized what Dustin was wearing because, again, he'd been planning this. And they're like, we have a table for him. We have a spot for you right here. And I'm like, wow, really?
It worked out so perfectly. It was like it was planned.
And I sat down. I was like, all right. I'm all like sniffly because of my cold. Anyways, it worked out really, really great. It was a really, really good day. I'm glad he filmed it because I don't remember it. Because I just was overwhelmed by everything. I cried a lot.
Because I was like, when I gave the camera to the guy, and I was like, so if you want to take certain pictures for us, and this is how you push record, and the guy was like, I get it. I know what you're trying to hint at here. So that's why Disney is so near and dear to us.
I like this one. How did you meet your partner's family? I kind of met them in the traditional ways, just like, hey, you want to meet the girlfriend? Sure. And we all went out for a meal, and that was how I met your parents.
I met your mom at the wedding. Well, not at the wedding.
No,
so,
it was not at the wedding. Close, though.
Wendy's parents actually live in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So I had met her aunt before and one of your cousins.
Yes.
However, it wasn't until I had actually called Taiwan and actually asked for your mom and dad's permission. And then 2 weeks before the wedding, your mom came out for the wedding, but your dad couldn't fly.
So my dad didn't, my dad has some health issues, so flying is not great for him, and long trips, like from Taiwan to LA is just a no-go. So we weren't able to have him meet my dad in person until 2018, which was 4 years after we were married, so, yeah.
I just find it interesting, too, that, your dad never really had to deal with, like, boyfriends or boys coming to the door. It went straight from my little girl to, she's now married. You've been married for 4 years. Here's the new husband.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's unconventional, but also, again, a great conversation starter. Okay, so in the movie, when Michael and Kit first started dating and they were like checking out each other, going over to each other's places as you do, as you start dating and relationship gets more serious and whatnot, you kind of, you want to make sure like your space is kind of not neat, but it's like it tells kind of the who you are, right? Like glance at your room. So Michael was pretty hesitant for Kit to go over to his place, and we're just like, why? In the movie we find out why, because Michael has a very extensive collection of Smurfs.
Before we go in, just open the door.
Okay. What is this, Michael?
Oh, you don't want to...
Oh my God, they're in here too.
Oh, Papa.
So the question is, what did you hide from your partner when you started dating?
Something that I hid from you.
Did you? I don't feel like you really
There
did.
was something... Okay, so when we did first start dating, I was still kind of hung up on my ex. So at first, when we first started dating, I kind of hid that because you actually knew my ex. Because we had hung out at some parties before we had started dating. And it wasn't until that one time after, she had come back and then I taught her friend a fencing lesson.
It was weird.
It was so awkward and so weird. After that, I'm like, okay, I am over this girl.
I was working the front desk too, so she came in knowingly Dustin and I had started the relationship, and she was like, hey, and she was kind of trying to flaunt. I was like, girl, what are you flaunting? You guys weren't even together, and now you're trying to come back. It was an interesting day.
So for a while, I kind of I kind of hid that, and then after that, I'm like, oh, okay, those feelings are now gone. How about you? Did you hide anything from me?
I mean, yes and no. I was not hide, but I was kind of hesitant to show. You know this now. I have this one stuffed animal that I brought with me all the way from Florida because I had been with me, and again, I had no friends here, so I just kind of kept it because it was something that gave me comfort when I felt lonely or cried when I was sad, because I was I don't know anybody, making friends is hard. So that was something that I kind of hid from you for a little bit, but after a while I was like, whatever, this is what it is.
Now, I do want to preface this one thing, that calling it a stuffed animal
it's not stuffed anymore.
It's not really. Most of the stuffing is out of this animal. That is how old this animal
I should
is.
just throw it away.
The animal's name is Floppy. Because it has no stuffing in it whatsoever.
Next question. What are your holiday traditions as a couple?
Well, a holiday tradition that we do is there's this area really close to us that everyone in the neighborhood puts up their Christmas lights. And usually more than just basic, around the trim kind of Christmas lights. They go all out in this neighborhood. And it is just so cool to get a big thermos of hot chocolate. Throw our dogs in the back and just go drive through this neighborhood.
In the back seat of the car.
In the back seat of the car.
That sounded I had to correct that, sorry.
And we just drive through the neighborhood looking at all of the beautiful Christmas lights. One year this guy put out this huge miniature town of trains and cars and neighborhoods, and I was just
he printed out pamphlets and with descriptions on what year some of these miniatures. It was pretty cool. So yeah, we enjoy doing that, from really charming things to the miniature set to, you've seen on YouTube, when people set their Christmas lights synced up to the music. Like there's a house specifically that does that, so that's one of the houses that we always visit in that area every year as well. So that's one of our traditions. I can't wait to go again this year. Last question. What did this film and its love story mean to you? So I'll preface this by I don't want to give away, I know the movie is called Spoiler Alert, but I don't want to give you guys a spoiler in this video. So if you want to check out a review for the film, you can do so right over here. It's a really great love story from, you know, how they meet and where the relationship goes, and how there are some heavy topics in this film. So when we walked into the special screening and they handed us little packets of tissues, I looked at Dustin and I said, uh-oh. What are we doing here? Did I wear the waterproof mascara? And I did, so I was okay. But I'm just thankful that the Michael who wrote the book based on the events, that he felt like he wanted to share this story, his story, with the rest of the world. It is a beautiful story, and I just want to urge you guys to check it out.
Mm-hmm. And also, some of the things that they went through in their relationship are things that we have gone through.
Yeah, it's kind of parallel too, so it was a little bit bringing us right back to that moment, but at the same time, we find a little bit of comfort knowing that other people have experienced the same kind of thing.
Yeah, and also the fact that, you know, Michael was always there. And something that it really rang home true for me is how Wendy has always been there.
I don't want to cry.
For me, with so many things that I've gone through in my life, and the love. And I just know that no matter what we end up going through, I know I'll have someone there with me. Someone there to hold my hand and to help me through so many different things.
Okay, sorry to end the video all teary. So you guys, make sure you check out Spoiler Alert in theaters in December. It's a beautiful love story. Just bring tissues with you. Bring it. And comment below some of the questions that we have answered in this video. Let us know your love story. Thanks for watching.